Hi, my name is Nina Poroskova, reporting to you at the 6 o'clock news for WCRB 7. Thank you for tuning in. Today, on November 9th, 1989, transportation between East and West Germany is no longer an obstacle. This wall only brought East Germans to more wreak havoc on some. Some demanded to see their families on the other side. This led to traveling rights. But on this day, demolition will not start immediately. People are coming left and right with chisels, sledgehammers, hammers, everything, to chip off souvenirs for themselves.
Hello, and welcome to On This Day in History. I'm Selena Storm, and it's a lovely June evening. On June 22nd, 1948, Soviet representatives told the U.S., France, and Britain, "We are warning both you and the population of Berlin that we shall apply economic and administrative sanctions that will lead to the circulation in Berlin exclusively of the currency of the Soviet occupation zone." The Soviets launched a massive propaganda campaign condemning those three occupying powers by radio, newspaper, and loudspeaker. 2 days later, on the 24th, the Soviets severed land and water communications between the non-Soviet zones and Berlin. That same day, they halted all rail and barge traffic in and out of Berlin. On June 25th, the Soviets stopped supplying food to the civilian population in the non-Soviet sectors of Berlin. Motor traffic from Berlin to the western zone was permitted, but it required a 23-kilometer detour to a ferry crossing because of alleged repairs to a bridge. They also cut off the electricity relied on by Berlin, using their control over the generating plants in the Soviet zone. Back to you guys.
Welcome back to the 6 o'clock news. I apologize for that. Welcome back to the 6 o'clock news. East Germany wanted to stop this mass exodus, and they shortly did. At midnight on August 13th, many residents awakened to soldiers, trucks filled with numerous supplies, and tanks all moving near the border crossing of East to West Germany. When many had awakened, they were all shocked by what they saw. Standing tall and stretching on 100 miles, this made it nearly impossible for excursions to be made between the two zones. Immediately, people began to panic and do everything they could to try to beat this massive wall. No longer able to destroy this wall, that meant no more crossing over to the West Germany for better paying jobs to visit families or whatever the case may be. Most who tried sneaking by were easily caught and punished for their actions. This wall could not be manipulated. It was truly impregnable.
On this day, all Germans are jumping in jubilation because of their ability to cross the border. Now this is a day to remember. This is Nina Poroskova with WCRB 7 News. Now back to you, Selena and Adrian.
And now our streaming ride to President Reagan's speech.
We welcome change and openness, for we believe that freedom and security go together, that the advance of human liberty can only strengthen the cause of world peace. There is one sign the Soviets can make that would be unmistakable, that would advance dramatically the cause of freedom and peace. General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Welcome back. I'm Adrian Allen, and the current issue at hand is the boycott of the Summer Olympics. We are currently leading the 61-nation boycott of the Summer Olympics held in Moscow. President Jimmy Carter called for the boycott to protest the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan that occurred last year in December. In response to the invasion of Afghanistan, in a press conference on December 28th of last year, Carter said, and he put the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in these terms: "Such gross interference in the internal affairs of Afghanistan is in blatant violation of accepted international rules of behavior. The Soviet action is a major matter of concern to the entire international community." President Carter had to inform our group of U.S. athletes in response to the Soviet excursion into Afghanistan that we would not be participating in the Olympics this year. This marks the first time that we would be boycotting the Olympics. After the Soviets intervened in Afghanistan in December of last year to prop up an unstable pro-Soviet government, we quickly reacted, and very sharply. We suspended arms negotiations with the Soviets, condemned the Russians' actions in the United Nations, and threatened to boycott the Olympics held in Moscow. When the Soviets refused to withdraw their troops from Afghanistan, President Carter finalized his decision to boycott the Games. On March 21st of this year, he met with approximately 150 of our U.S. athletes and coaches to explain his decision. He told the crowd, "I understand how you feel and recognize your intense disappointment." However, he continued on stating that what we are doing is preserving the principles and quality of the Olympics, not destroying it. Many of the athletes were devastated by the news. As one had stated, "As citizens, it is easy to follow our president, but as athletes, it's quite difficult." Others declared that the president was simply politicizing the Olympics, but although most of the athletes reluctantly supported our president's decision. Some of the countries that are competing in the Games are countries like the United Kingdom and France. They do support the boycott, although they are giving their athletes the option to participate in the Olympics as they wish. We, on the other hand, did not give our athletes that option. Western Europe has roughly about 170 athletes that are going to be competing. Some of these countries include Spain, Italy, Sweden, Iceland, and Finland. Although the Italian athletes belonging to the military corps will not be participating in the Games due to the fact that their government does support the boycott, which severely affects many of the events. Some also of the American-born athletes who are citizens of other countries such as Italy and Australia will not be competing in the events in Moscow. Altogether, athletes of 16 countries were not represented by their national flag or national anthem in the opening ceremony. Instead, they marched under the NOC flag, and the Olympic anthem was replaced with their national anthem at the ceremonies. All in all, 61 nations are boycotting the Summer Olympics currently, although less than half of these countries include Middle East countries. The countries range from Argentina, the Bahamas, Belize, Bermuda, all the way to South Korea, Malaysia, Morocco, Philippines, so we are not alone in this boycott.
And thanks again for tuning into the WCBR 7 News.
You stay classy.
Well, how would you pronounce this? I don't want to pronounce this wrong, I sound like an idiot. Exodus? Exodus?
Exodus.
Exodus?
Exodus.
You're ruining me. I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
I'm just sitting here.
Your head's gonna be. Okay, I'll come up higher. Ow! Oh god! Woo! I'm pretty sure I pulled something.
East Germany wanted to stop this mass. What am I saying? Won't do anything. Why do you hate me so much?
You're putting your foot in his face.
I'm not. Little hurt. Liberty can only strengthen the cause of the world. We welcome change and openness, for we believe and security go together. Stop looking at her. I can see it out of the corner of my eye. It can only strengthen the cause of world peace. There is one side.
Oh my god!
Just ignore it. It's my grandpa.
Okay, well we need to.
He can wait.
We can't.
I'll be done in like 5 minutes. Let's wait in the car. Okay. We welcome change and openness, for we believe that freedom and security go together. That the advance of the human. I can't do this anymore.
Yes, you can. You're on a roll. This has a wrinkle in it.